Hello, PICPOQET episode 3. Today it's chromatics. Those interesting characters in music. We're going to do some singing right away. You're all warmed up, ready to go. If you want, you can pause this video and do a big old 15-minute warm-up. Or keep going and we'll do a 15-second warm-up, alright? Do some low notes to any shapes you like to high notes to the low part of your voice to the high part of your voice, all ready to go now. I want you to sing chromatically. That's every single note, all the semitones, all the sharps and flats and naturals, and you sing it to la or oo or anything, all together. 1, 2, ready, go. Brilliant. And now the other way, we'll do the ascending scale. You can sing it to any sound you want. You can make it a word, you can make it a syllable, make it a single syllabled word, an Anglo-Saxon one if you like. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Now that scale, particularly the ascending one, has a real quality. It's sort of feels like kind of musical elastic. Yeah, it's being pulled and something's going to happen. It's a cliche of silent film piano music. All just going up by semitones, builds up the tension, and that's why it's used in. Because we know something is going to happen, something exciting, not just in the accompaniment there, but in the melody. Da-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum, which interestingly are the same intervals as da-dum, 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 ba-dum. They've all got to have those intervals in them. Put it low down. The notes are really close together. We had Mission Impossible as the recessional at our wedding. You're thinking those are wide intervals, they're not semitones. But actually listen to where the focus of the tune is. We're going to sing a little bit more now. Before, I was playing the piano with you. This time, it's just you. A cappella, nearly a cappella. I'll play the first note, you sing the scale, and I'll join you on the last note. Do the descending one first. Are you ready? Go. There it is. And now ascending, start there, and retrace your steps. 1, 2, ready, go. If you found that dead easy, you might want to fast forward a bit. We're just going to practice in case you found it was just a little bit difficult pitching all those things equally. We know they're equal. You know, we know theoretically that semitones are all the same as they come down, and we can see that on the piano where it's quite easy to play them. When you're singing, it feels very different, doesn't it? Whether you're at the beginning of the phrase or the end of a phrase, whether you're at the top part of your range, bottom of your range, when there's other stuff going on, harmony, it'll make a difference the harmonic context in which your semitone is being placed. Loads and loads of choir tuning issues are to do with exactly where the semitones are. Sometimes they're a bit bigger than you thought. Sometimes they're a bit smaller than you thought. This is just to get them all working within equal temperament. You know, the fact that our scale is divided into 12 it's a bit of an artificial division. Proper music theorists will tell you better how this works, but there's a perfect octave, and then a pure mathematical ratio will give you the fifth, and then a fifth from there, a fifth from there. You sort of go around all the notes in sequence and you come back to where you start. The fascinating thing, though, is if you tune them all absolutely to their natural resonance, you go around all these notes and you don't quite get back to the same note that you started on. So in order, there's a huge controversy in the 16th, 17th century as all these musical theorists came up with different ways of trying to tune their instruments to try and make all this music work. We've kind of settled now on equal temperament, but that's maybe why it's slightly difficult to sing semitones, because they're just sometimes not quite exactly where they would feel to be purely resonant within a chord. Anyway, that's probably a topic for another whole series of videos and dissertations and things. A practice for us, let's go up the scale, let's start somewhere new, just for a change. Just do the first 5 notes, please. I will join you on note 5. Are you ready? Go. Lovely. Now start there and go up the next 5. Are you ready? Go. So just, did you need to adjust that slightly higher, slightly lower? Were you spot on? And now start there and go up the next 5. Are you ready? Go. Now, bearing in mind what just little adjustments you needed to make on your journey, let's go up the whole scale. I will just join you every third of the way. You just sing the complete sequence. Don't stop. Are you ready? Go. And now let's do the same thing coming down. You do the whole scale, and I'll just every now and again, just as a little signpost, just as some way to tune in. Should we do it a bit slower, actually, so you've got more chance to hear that note? A slower tempo coming down a descending phrase. Are you ready? Go. Great, well done. Now, it's the aim of all arrangers to combine a chromatic scale with every single tune they come across. And sometimes it works. Sometimes it's putting a square peg into a round hole. It just about works here, I think. And there's an example that you can sing. Let's all sing together, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, but with a difference. Can you hold the last note of each phrase for one extra beat? Are you ready? Go. Hold. And actually makes it sound even more of a sleepy tune than it already is. So we're going to combine a chromatic scale with Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. You can sing along with the piano. If you happen to have someone in the house or in the room with you, you could do it as a duet. One person needs to sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and hold it, and the other person just sings a chromatic scale. Having implied, we don't usually sing 12 of these in a row in choral music, this one is. You're going to go all the way up the whole octave, and then all the way down the whole octave, and then you're going to stay there. So if you're singing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, you've got some lyrics. If you're doing a chromatic accompaniment, you can go ooh, or anything you like. the speed of the chromatic scale is 2 counts on each note. The speed of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star is tempo di Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Are you ready? Go. And turn around the chromatic. Hold the chromatic. So you've got Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, the most diatonic, the most non-chromatic tune, just up and down C major scale, and it kind of fits. Chromatics fit anything. Dedicating this song to Mrs. Trellis. Now, if you're singing Love Divine to the tune Blind Man, at that point, the words go changed from glory into glory. And what better place for the organist, it's a real organist thing, to do with just a slow chromatic scale on the pedals, every single pedal almost, up and then down. So changed from glory. If you want to sing along here, that's fine. You can sing changed from glory, you can sing la 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 la. If you want to sing the bass line, the chromatic part, it starts there. La 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 la. Let's give it a go. Sing along and just turning the screw harmonically as we go through every conceivable chord, driven by this chromatic line in the bass, all about that bass, as we said before. When I was starting out as a choral conductor many years ago, in the early 90s, I thought the best way to learn would be to just go and sit in on some rehearsals of some great choirs and great directors. So I wrote to the Bach Choir. So David Wilcox was conducting and said, can I just sit in on a rehearsal? And it was a really, really great experience. One thing I remember, and I think it's the only choir rehearsal I've ever been to where the conductor didn't sing and say, sing it like this. Just by explaining really well how he wanted the singers to make the sound, he expressed it and then they did the singing, which is what it's all about. It's not, copying one vocalist. That was a real inspirational thing. And the other exercise he got the choir to do was a contrary motion chromatic scale. This one. Absolutely zooming in on this sort of point where we all meet. But there's also a point we meet halfway through, isn't there? Wow, A flat and G sharp, same thing, if we're using equal temperament. So that's something I've tried to do quite a lot with the choirs that I work with, and we're going to do it now. You know how it's going to work. You're going to sing a scale going up, and I'm going to play the scale going down. And we're going to stop and hold and meet at that halfway point, and then we're going to carry on repeating that middle note again. Okay, so let's try that in duet, you and the piano here. I will play the descending scale, you will sing the ascending scale. Choose your one-syllable lyric, and we're going to stop at the meeting place. Are you ready? Go. Hello there. Lovely. Now start on that note and keep going. Are you ready? Go. There we are. And the final bit of singing, the same thing in reverse. So you're now at the top of the scale, you're going to come down the stairs, I'll come up the stairs, meet you at the halfway landing. All right? Are you ready? Go. Lovely. Sing that note again and carry on. And... Thank you. Thank you for singing. Wonderful. That's it. Episode 3 is done. Thank you to Arthur, my producer. And next time we're going to do a little bit of work on Mozart Ave Verum Corpus. Piece you might know. If you want to dig out a copy of that or find a free copy online, that would be great. But you don't have to have the score. We'll just be talking about a few... I'll talk a bit more about vocal techniques with that one. Thanks very much for subscribing and for the likes, and thank you to the person that did a dislike on the video last time. That's fine. It's no such thing as bad publicity. Someone was watching it and reacted. So that was lovely. Thank you for the emails and suggestions of what we might cover next. I've had a letter from Mrs. Trellis, North Wales Choral Society. Here it is. Dear Mr. Whitaker, my daughter and I love your beautiful music. In fact, though she's 33 and recently married, I think she has a bit of a crush on you. Anyway, once the current travel restrictions are lifted, perhaps you'll visit North Wales as a special guest at the Eisteddfod. If so, we'd be honoured if you'd like to come for dinner. For the starter, we'd have honey nut clusters. The main course would be rich chocolate cake and ice cream, and pudding would be homemade treacle tart and maple syrup. We're a teetotal household, so we'll be drinking only honey. We would love you to join us. The highlight of the evening would be for me to hear you're sleeping with my daughter. I send you my best wishes. I'll reread that. The highlight of the evening would be for me to hear your sleep. And with my daughter, I send my best wishes. Mrs. Trellis and Mrs. Jones, née Trellis. Thank you. I'll forward that. Last time I asked, how many tenors does it take to change a light bulb? The answer is 4. 1 to change it, while the other 3 say, or just imply, how much better they would have changed it. That doesn't apply to any of the tenors that I know in any choir I've ever worked with. Next time, can you tell me how many basses does it take to change a light bulb?